నమస్తే. ఈ మహమ్మారి కరోనా వైరస్ సందర్భంగా గత 40 రోజులుగా ప్రజలందరూ లాక్డౌన్ ఒత్తిడిలో ఉన్నారు. ముఖ్యంగా విద్యార్థులు వారి పాఠశాలకు దూరమై, చదువులకు దూరమై, పరీక్షలకు దూరమై ఎంతో క్షోభను అనుభవిస్తూ ఉండవచ్చు. 10వ తరగతి పరీక్షలు మన తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలో 3 పేపర్స్ తర్వాత ఆగిపోయిన విషయం మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే. మిగిలిన 8 పేపర్లు జూన్ 8వ తారీఖు నుండి 29వ తారీఖు వరకు పరీక్షల టైం టేబుల్ ఇచ్చింది. ఇలాంటి లాక్డౌన్ సమయంలో విద్యార్థులు ఎదుర్కొంటున్న ఒత్తిడులకు వాళ్ళు వారి ఉపాధ్యాయులతో దూరమైన వేళ ఎలా పరీక్షలు రాయాలి అనే అయోమయానికి గురవుతున్న వేళ మేము JS3 అనే సంస్థతో ఒప్పందం కుదుర్చుకొని ఈ 10వ తరగతి పరీక్షలు రాసే విద్యార్థుల కొరకు ఒక ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసుల రూపకల్పన చేసినాము. ముఖ్యంగా తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలోని పేరొందిన భాషా పరిజ్ఞానం ఉన్న, విషయ పరిజ్ఞానం ఉన్న ఉపాధ్యాయులతో ఈ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసులు ఇస్తున్నాం. ఆ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసులు ఒక పాఠశాలకు పరిమితం కాకుండా, ఒక పాఠశాల విద్యార్థులకే పరిమితం కాకుండా ఈరోజు ఆర్మూర్ పట్టణమే కాకుండా ఆర్మూర్ చుట్టుపక్కల పరిసర ప్రాంతంలోని 10వ తరగతి విద్యార్థులు ఎవరైతే జూన్ 8వ తారీఖు నుంచి పరీక్ష రాయబోతున్నారో వారి ఉపయోగార్థము ఈ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసులను పిల్లలకు ఉపయోగకరంగా ఉంటుందని మా ప్రతిపాదనను ఈ NCN ఛానల్ వారి ఛానల్ యాజమాన్యానికి ఇవ్వగా వారు మనస్ఫూర్తిగా ముందుకొచ్చి మేము కూడా ఈ పిల్లలకు విద్యను అందించడంలో మేము కూడా ఒక ప్రధాన పాత్రను పోషిస్తాం అని ముందుకొచ్చి మనకు ఈ విధంగా సహకరిస్తున్నందుకు మీ తరఫున, మా తరఫున, శ్రీభాషిత పాఠశాల తరఫున NCN యాజమాన్యానికి, నవనాథ ఛానల్ యాజమాన్యానికి నా మనస్పూర్వక అభినందనలు తెలుపుతూ ధన్యవాదాలు తెలుపుకుంటున్నాను. ఈ విషయ పరిజ్ఞానం ఉన్న ఉపాధ్యాయులు రోజుకు కనీసము 1 గంట మొదలుకొని 1 గంట 30 నిమిషాల వరకు వారు పరీక్షా సమయంలో ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ కావాలి అనే కోణంలో మీకు క్లాసులు ఇవ్వబడింది. ఇట్టి క్లాసులను ఈ నవనాథ ఛానల్ వాళ్ళు NCNలో నవనాథ్ ఛానల్లో రోజు 2 పూటల ఉదయము మరియు సాయంత్రం మీకు ప్రత్యేక ప్రసారం చేస్తారు. ఎందుకంటే చాలామంది విద్యార్థులకు, ముఖ్యంగా గ్రామీణ ప్రాంత విద్యార్థులకు స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్లు అందుబాటులో ఉండకపోవచ్చు. ఒకవేళ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్లు ఉన్నా నెట్వర్క్ అందుబాటులో ఉండకపోవచ్చు. ఒకవేళ నెట్వర్క్ ఉన్నా సరి అయిన డేటా సరిపోకపోవచ్చు. ఎన్నో ఇబ్బందులకు గురై వాళ్లకు అందకపోవచ్చు అనే ఉద్దేశంతో ఈరోజు ఈ క్లాసులను ప్రత్యేకంగా ఆర్మూర్ పట్టణ మరియు పరిసర ప్రాంత విద్యార్థుల కోసం ఈ నవనాథ ఛానల్ ముందుకు రావడం విశేషం. ఇటువంటి సదవకాశాన్ని విద్యార్థులు దీక్షతో, పట్టుదలతో దీనిని సద్వినియోగం చేసుకోవాల్సిందిగా నేను అందరినీ ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాను. ముఖ్యంగా ఈ పరీక్షల సమయంలో విద్యార్థులు ఎటువంటి ఆందోళనకు గురి కాకుండా సబ్జెక్టు పైనే దృష్టి పెడుతూ అనుభవం ఉన్న ఉపాధ్యాయులచే ఇచ్చిన గైడ్లైన్స్ను తూచా తప్పకుండా పాటిస్తూ చక్కగా పరీక్ష రాసి ఉత్తమ మార్కులతో పాస్ అయ్యి ఆర్మూర్ను మన తెలంగాణ పటంలోనే ఒక గొప్ప ప్రాంతంగా పేరు తెచ్చుకుంటారని మనస్ఫూర్తిగా ఆశిస్తూ రాబోయే రోజుల్లో భారతదేశానికి గొప్ప భావి భారత పౌరులుగా తయారవుతారని ఆకాంక్షిస్తూ మరొకసారి ఈ నవనాథ్ ఛానల్ NCN ఛానల్ యాజమాన్యానికి మరియు సిబ్బందికి నా మనస్పూర్వక అభినందనలు, కృతజ్ఞతలు. మరొకసారి అందరికీ ఆరోగ్యమే మహాభాగ్యం కాబట్టి విద్యార్థులు, వారి కుటుంబ సభ్యులు, రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వము, కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం ఇచ్చిన సూచనలను తూచా తప్పకుండా పాటిస్తూ మీ ఆరోగ్యాన్ని, మీ కుటుంబం సభ్యుల ఆరోగ్యాన్ని దృష్టిలో ఉంచుకొని ప్లీజ్ స్టే హోమ్, స్టే సేఫ్, స్టే హెల్తీ. జై హింద్.
Academic standard 3 from each chapter. experiments. Nana. You have to first check what are the experiments present in the textbooks, especially in each and every chapter. And the chapters which get reflected with the experiments are chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. So these are the chapter in which we have the AS3 Nana experiments. So each and every experiments, you should have concept basing the different steps, like what is the aim, what are the apparatus to be used, what is the procedure, what are your observations, what is the analysis, and what your conclusion. So basing on this, directly the question won't be asked, explain the activity. Whatever the step he needs, that will be specializedly asked, and we have to answer for that only. Or else if you write the complete answer also, it's okay, but it will be a time consuming task for us. So we have to concentrate on whatever the topic they have asked. Okay, children. So first let me revise the experiments in each and every chapter, whatever we have to now concentrate. First, when you come for the experiment, chapter number 1, Nana, how many experiments do we have? We have the experiments, especially one is the presence of starch, how to find out whether the starch is present in the leaves or not. Next, we have carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Next, we have hydroelectric experiment, that is oxygen is released during photosynthesis, and also sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So these are the main 4 experiments we have to concentrate in the chapter 1, which will be reflected. Now, when you come for the presence of starch, the different apparatus, you know it. So check the apparatus here. What are the different apparatus? The thing here in this experiment, what you have to concentrate is what are the precautions, especially we have to concentrate on. And next one is what are the observations. Procedure, okay, everyone will write, apparatus will write. But the thing is, what are the observations have to be done, and what are the precautions to be taken in this experiment? What are the observations we have to observe in this chapter, Anna? Especially 2 observations will be there. One is we'll find bubbles coming out from the hydroelectric, and next is the water level in the test tube will come down. These are the 2 observations we have to concentrate on. Next, what are the precautions? We should never heat the test tube with methylated spirit on the direct flame. Why? What happens if we heat here? If we heat directly, what happens? What are the methylated spirit is there? It will get bubbled up, and it is a highly flammable. So automatically what happens here? So that whatever the methylated spirit will sprinkle out, and if it falls on that whatever the flame is there, it will easily catch up fire and will have a big vigorous fire, damage our eyes and also our face. So never we should heat the test tube with methylated spirit directly on the flame. That is the reason we have heated in the water bath. This is the very special precaution we have to remember. And the second thing is we have to carefully spread the leaf in the petri dish. Why? Because it will become very, very delicate when we boil it. So that is the thing. And other question in 1 mark or 2 marks which will reflect is why we have to boil the leaf in the methylated spirit. Why can't we take the leaf and directly we can apply the iodine solution? The thing is here, if we boil the leaf, whatever the green color pigment which is present in the leaf, that whatever the pigment is there, it will not interfere with our results. What is the result here we have to concentrate on? Whatever the iodine reagent we have taken, that iodine reagent will react with the starch present in the leaves and give the dark blue color or blue-black color, which indicates that the starch is present in the leaves. That is our conclusion. So whenever the blue color appears, then we can conclude that the leaf is having starch. But whatever the green is present in the leaf, that may interfere and may give the wrong results to us. So because of that, we have to remove the green color from the leaf. For that purpose, we boil the leaf in the methylated spirit, which because of which the leaf will become pale in color. So these are the things we have to concentrate about the experiment. Why? Because directly experiment everyone will write, Nana, but these are the 1 mark and 2 mark questions which are surrounding that experiment. So this is about the first experiment. Next, the second experiment is the carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. In this also, we have to concentrate on the precautions and observations. So normal apparatus and the procedure is there, everyone may have known it. Then what are the observations here? Whatever the part of the leaf which is present inside the bottle, that will not convert into blue-black color. This is the observation we have to write. Okay, the special observation is we are not bothered about anything. Which part of the leaf have converted into blue-black color and which part of the leaf have not converted into blue-black color is very important. So which part will convert into blue-black color? The part which is present outside the bottle will convert into blue-black color, whereas the part which is present inside the bottle will not convert into blue-black. This is our observation. 2 points here, observation. Next, analysis. How we have to write the analysis here? The part present outside the bottle have got all 4 factors. What are the 4 factors? One is carbon dioxide, next one is water, next one is sunlight, and the last one is the chloroplast. So the 4 factors for photosynthesis were made available for the leaf which is present outside the bottle. That's why it had performed the photosynthesis, and due to which starch is formed, and that starch will give you the dark blue. But whereas the leaf which is present inside the bottle, it will get all factors except carbon dioxide. Then what happens to carbon dioxide here? Whatever the KOH solution we have taken inside the bottle in the small beaker, that KOH solution, which is base, that will absorb carbon dioxide, which is acid. Okay, what is the nature of carbon dioxide? Acid. So that whatever the carbon dioxide which is present inside the bottle, that will be absorbed by the KOH, and due to which what happens? The environment which is present inside the bottle is carbon dioxide free environment. That means that part of the leaf did not get carbon dioxide, and whereas all other factors are available for the leaf. That is the reason why the leaf did not perform photosynthesis. Starch is not formed, due to which the iodine will not give you dark blue color. So from this what we can conclude? That carbon dioxide is very, very essential for performing photosynthesis. This is how we have to conclude the experiment. What are the precautions here? We should not allow the leaf to touch the KOH solution. This is first precaution. If the leaf will get touched with the KOH solution, what happens? The leaf will get destroyed. Okay, as it is a strong base. This is first precaution. Second precaution is we have to prepare the KOH solution fresh. Why? Because it should be able to absorb more carbon dioxide. Quick, the action should be quick and more carbon dioxide should be absorbed. For that purpose, we should prepare the KOH fresh. This is the second precaution. Third precaution is to avoid the exchange of gases here. We have to apply the Vaseline on the rim of the bottle after inserting the vertical slit cork. So these are the 3 precautions we have to follow. Okay, so by this we complete the second experiment. Next, third experiment is oxygen is released during photosynthesis. And everyone knows this is a hydroelectric experiment during which whatever the what you say it as the apparatus we have taken. Not only this, alternate experiment also we can do it now. Simply whatever the pond water is there, we can bring it in a bottle and then take a small petri dish, and then if you invert that bottle in the petri dish, then if you leave this complete apparatus in the sunlight also, we'll get the same observation and same analysis. Or else we can also take the apparatus which are present in the textbook also. Okay, either of this you can use. And here in this, what are the observations? 2 observations are this. Is one is the whatever the water bubbles are coming from the hydroelectric, that one, and the test tube water levels will come down. And the precautions to be taken is whatever the water level in the beaker we have taken, that should be above the stem of the funnel. That is very important. If the water levels are not above the stem of the level, what happens? While removing the test tube for testing the gas here, that will not make us very suitable to gas near the matchstick or the candle. So for that purpose, to have a clear removal of a test tube with the proper way to take that gas near the matchstick, what we have to do is we have to make the water level in the beaker little bit above the stem of the funnel. This is the major precaution we have to take. And other precaution, this only, that is we have to close the thumb very closely, and we should not allow other gases to enter into the test tube while going near the matchbox, and also while exposing also it should be little away from our body such that it won't affect our body. So these are the 2 precautions. And the other things are the test for gas. Whenever we expose the gas to the matchstick, automatically it will burn vigorously, which will indicate that whatever the gas which is released, it is combustible. That is nothing but the oxygen gas, and that is the gas which has been released during photosynthesis. Why? Because we have given 4 factors essential for photosynthesis for the hydroelectrics. Okay, so that is how we can prove that oxygen is released during the photosynthesis. The next one is sunlight is essential. Already we have done in the 7th class itself. Simple, take any small plant which is having little bit broad leaves. Then what you have to do is the experiments for carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis and sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. The other thing also we have to keep in your mind before starting, we have to keep this plant in the dark room for a few days, especially nearly 3 to 4 days or 1 week. This is also one of the very important 2-mark question which will reflect from this experiment, Sana. The thing is why we have to keep the plant in the dark room. Why? Because here whatever the already present starch in the leaves, that should not interact or interfere with our results. For that purpose, we have to de-starch the leaves. De-starch means we have to remove the starch. So by hand we can't do it. The plant itself has to use the starch. For that purpose, we should not allow the plant to perform photosynthesis. For that purpose, we keep the plant in the dark room. So because of no light, the plant will not perform photosynthesis. So there is no photosynthesis, no food formation, but already food is stored, and that whatever the stored food is there, that will be planned for its metabolic activities for survival. So after a few days, that is after 4 or 5 days, whatever the leaves which are present in the leaves, they'll become de-starch. Okay, so then only after that we have to perform these 2 experiments. Which are the 2 experiments? Carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis and sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So in this, simply you have to take an light screen, that is nothing but the 2 black papers and 2 pins we need, and with a different design also you can do it, or else without design also, your wish it is. Take black papers and make them hold on a leaf, one above the leaf and one below the leaf, and then keep the complete apparatus in the sunlight. You water to it and leave it from morning to evening. In the evening, you plug this leaf. Along with this leaf, you can plug another leaf also, if you want, or else direct this leaf is also sufficient. After going for iodine test, what you're going to, the leaf without light screen will give complete blue-black color, but whereas the leaf with the light screen, the part of the leaf which has got exposed to sunlight, that will give you blue-black color, whereas the part of the leaf which is being hidden or which is not made to explode with the sunlight, that will not give blue-black color, which will indicate that the light is very essential. Without light, the photosynthesis will not occur. So this is the experiment which will prove sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So if you are perfect with this 4 from first chapter, we are sure that you are going to get minimum 4 marks. Why? Because in the overall 40 marks, 6 marks will be allotted for activities, and we know that in the 4 marks compulsory 1 activity will be there, and in that from first 2 chapters 1 activity usually will be covered, and if you are very lucky, from the first 2 itself 2 activities also may be covered. So next thing, let me go for the second chapter here. So first chapter 4 activities have been completed. Next, when you come for the second chapter, the activities, small activities are there which will reflect in the 2 marks. For example, now the question, how do you prove, children note on this, how do you prove carbon dioxide and heat is released during human aerobic respiration? Till now, you may have concentrated on the yeast experiment. You may have concentrated on the aerobic respiration done by the plants. That is, especially we have taken through the seeds. But a small twist may be asked here. Just simple question they may ask. What is that question is? How do you prove? Same. The question is same, but here is asking in special organism, that is in man. How you are going to prove that carbon dioxide and heat is released during respiration in human being? Okay, children. So how you are going to prove heatness? Simple. By lifting your finger near your nose and just inhale and exhale. And what is the observation? The air we are inhaling is cool and the air we are exhaling is hot. This is simple observation and simple analysis. So inhaled air is cool, whereas exhaled air is hot. So from this we can say that during respiration, energy is released in the form of heat also, and that is also released out through exhaled air. This is one. Next is carbon dioxide. Simple, we have to take test tubes, lime water, and with the help of delivery tube, blow, or else if you exhale the air into the lime water, what happens to lime water? The lime water will convert into milky white, which will indicate that whatever the gas we have exhaled out is carbon dioxide. These are the simple 2 things. So don't think that directly question will be there on the yeast experiment, or else the question will be there directly on the seeds. Okay, but on our human body also he may ask. So like that we have to get ready to answer any type of experiments related to the respiration. So that's all. These are the things. Next, entropic respiration. experiments with yeast here. So in this also, you have to remember few precautions. What are the precautions you have to remember in the yeast experiment, Nana? Whatever the glucose solution we have taken, that will be little boiled, little. We should not make it bubbled, just warm, little hot you have to make it, due to which whatever the oxygen which is dissolved in the glucose solution, that will go out of the glucose solution. Later on, slowly we have to add that, that is by bending the thermoflask, slowly we have to allow the glucose solution to go into the flask. That is very important. Next, after that, we have to add diazine green. That is very, very important. Why we are going to add the diazine green, Nana? Whenever the oxygen is very short, what happens? It gives you pink color. Which one? Diazine green. Okay. If the pink color appears, what you are going to see? Pink color means oxygen is not present. Whenever the oxygen is insufficient or oxygen is supplied, that is supplied very deficient, then it becomes a pink color. When oxygen is there, it becomes a blue color. Okay. So after that, what happens slowly? We have to pour the liquid paraffin such that the outside gases will not come inside the whatever the paraffin wax is there. And if any gases will produce also, that the gases will come out of the paraffin wax, but they won't enter into the paraffin wax. That is very, very essential. That is the reason if you observe the apparatus also, the delivery tube, which will carry the carbon dioxide into lime water, is above the paraffin wax. Okay, it is not immersed into the glucose solution, it is above the paraffin wax. What the paraffin wax will do is, whatever the oxygen which is present outside will not allow to come into the glucose solution, but what the oxide which is released, that will allow to move through the paraffin wax outside with pressure. Why? Because it will be having pressure, so that pressure will make the gas to come out of the liquid paraffin wax, and that will pass to the delivery tube and enter into the lime water, which will make the lime water to convert into milky white. And also, as temperature has been released, so the whatever the mercury levels are there in the thermometer, that will also raise high, which will conclude that during anaerobic respiration, heat and carbon dioxide are released. So this is how we have to look into the experiment with yeast. Next, in the same way with the whatever the seeds we have taken, that will reflect aerobic respiration done in the plant. So that is all simple experiments. Okay. So these are the experiments which are related with the second chapter. Third chapter and fourth chapter, we don't have any specific experiments, but only the dissection part we have. Okay. So in the dissection part, what you have to concentrate is what are the apparatus we are needed for dissection. Next, what are the procedures to be followed. So just once to check it. Later on, what is observation? If he asks you, what is the observation you have done during means, you have to draw the diagram compulsory. Okay, children? So they may ask this, these two questions also. That is basing on the dissection of heart and dissection of kidney. So if you ask the observation, you have to draw the diagram with the parts, whatever they are needed. And if they ask you analysis, then you have to explain the different structures present in the heart and also structure, internal structure of the kidney. So this will make you to be perfect with the experiments related with the third chapter and fourth chapter. Okay, children? Fifth chapter, we don't have any experiment. In the sixth, we have a experiment with bread mold. So simply, we have to take a bread, sprinkle with water, leave it for some days, or else 1 or 2 days. After that, we are going to have growth of rhizopus on the bread. Just simply take that rhizopus on a slide, cover it with a cover slip, and observe under a microscope. So this is your procedure. What is the observation? You're going to find two types of thread-like structures, one horizontal and one vertical. Okay. Then whatever the vertical rhizomes are there, whatever vertical thread-like structures are there. So these vertical structures will have sac-like structures, sporangia, and inside that sporangium, you will have spores, sporangiospores. And when the sporangia will get matured, these sporangias will burst out, releasing the sporangiospores, and these sporangiospores will get scattered, and when they fall on the suitable substratum, again they start germinating. Okay, so that means here, this whatever the spores are there, they have been produced not by fusion of male and female gamete. That's why the spores, whatever which have been formed over here, they are they reflect the asexual reproduction which occurs in the rhizospores. Now there is a small comparison. Usually they ask is what is the comparison between the spores of rhizopus and spores of fern. So both are same. Here they are formed because of what? asexual reproduction only. That is, they are not formed from the gametes. The gametes have not got fused, fertilization did not occur, the zygote is not formed, and from the zygote you are not going to get the spores here. So they are from asexual part only. But the thing is, they are a little bit very microscopic and they are a little bit macroscopic when compared between them. That's all. But the thing is same between the spores of Rhizopus and spores of fern. Okay.
Madam,
So this
excuse
is
me.
Yes.
One of the student, G Maheshwari, she is asking, ma'am, from third lesson, root pressure activity.
Yeah, root pressure. Wait one. Root pressure activity you want? Yes, I think I missed it. When you come for the root pressure activity, am I not able to listen to the children, ma'am?
Put their answers like doubts in chat box. So for that, from that I have got that message, ma'am. G Maheshwari is asking about it.
Okay, Nana. One experiment also we have regarding the not only about root pressure child, about transpiration also we have. They'll reflect 1 and 2 marks questions. Okay. When you come for transpiration, what is transpiration? Evaporation of water in the form of water vapor through stomata. Okay. So this will create a pull of water column, due to which the water will be transported to the tip of the plant also. Whereas the root pressure, what the root pressure will do? It will push the water. Okay, so child, I am only concentrating on the activity based, Nana. But when you come for whatever the doubt you have asked, that will especially reflect in the AS1. That is in understanding concept. When I explain the transport of water in the roots, in the plants, then I'll explain what is root pressure. Okay, child? If I now explain about the root pressure, child, you will be confused. Let me explain this topic there itself. Okay, fine, teacher. Madam, is it okay?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Let me complete only the experiments, Nana. Now, I will explain that experiment when I am explaining the absorption of water by the roots. Then I will give you the clear guidance over there. Next, now let me go for the 7th chapter, Nana. 7th chapter is again important for us for the activity based. Now, when you come for here in the activity based, usually concentrate on the role of palate. Usually the children will not concentrate on these activities. Simple, but they may reflect in the 2 marks answers. Okay, so usually they may ask you to write tabular form, or that is especially the observation. So he has asked you to see the role of palate, how it will help in receiving the taste. So he has asked you to 4 activities in that. That is the levels. One is directly we have to take sugar and keep it on the tongue. This only, and then we have to count the time after how much you have received the taste. Later on, he'll ask you to take the sugar crystal on the tongue and then press against the palate like this, and then record the time. Next thing is, he will ask you to take the sugar solution and ask a drop to have on the tongue and leave the tongue like that only. And after that, we'll ask you to take the sugar solution on the tongue and he'll ask the tongue to press against the palate. So in this 4, which will make you to take the taste very fast, means if you take the sugar drop on the tongue and press against the palate, you're going to receive the taste very fast within fraction of seconds. Okay, then from this what you're going to say is 2 things, observations. What you have observed is, whenever the food chemicals are there, when they saliva, or else when they are in the liquid form, and when we press against the palate, the tongue against the palate, whatever the taste buds are there, they will get opened. Okay, and whatever the saliva with the chemicals are there, they will go into the taste buds. They will bath the taste buds. There, the receptors which are there, they will receive the information and they will give you what taste it is. Okay, Nana? So this is how the experiment we have to explain over there. So especially the observation part is there. Whatever the observation is there, that observation part, the table is there, Nana. So in that table, we have to concentrate what we have to write. That is activity and the time taken. Maybe you may have written the activity in this form or not, I don't know, but you have to observe that. Okay, so what is the activity? Directly sugar on the tongue, then sugar on the tongue pressed against the palate, sugar syrup on the tongue, and the sugar syrup on the tongue pressed against the palate. So simple, write the time also, like the little bit seconds, and the last fraction of seconds. Okay, so this is observation. And your analysis. Analysis is when we press the tongue against the palate, then only the taste buds will be easily opened and the solution will enter with the chemicals, that whatever the saliva is there, that will enter into the taste buds, bath the taste buds, and there we are going to trigger the taste receptors, which will make you to receive the real taste. Okay. Next small experiment here we have is that why mastication is needed in our mouth. Simple. He'll ask you to take vinegar, 2 pieces of chalk, one, the big piece of chalk if you keep in the vinegar, in the other beaker what you have to do is we have to crush the piece of chalk and we have to keep it in the beaker and leave for some time, and if you see what happens, whatever the crushed small pieces of chalk pieces there, it will dissolve properly in the vinegar, but whereas the big piece also will start dissolving, but it will take more time. So that is the reason why we have to masticate inside in our mouth. Okay, not only here in the mouth, but also in the stomach also. Whatever the food we have taken, which is in solid form or semi-solid form, that will be converted into porridge form. Porridge means tomato pachadi untayi kada na noor etluntadi, like that whatever the food we have eaten, that will convert into porridge form. So from this we can say that mastication is very, very essential. Okay.
Madam, excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
6th lesson experiment tissue culture mida, madam.
Tissue culture మీద experiment మనకి ఏం లేదు, just that is an.
Okay, one of the student is asking, madam, once again please explain the 6th lesson activity of tissue culture. That is why I'm asking.
No, tissue culture is not a matter of our SSC, madam. Now it is not a class. Normal class means we can go on beyond, but this is only we are concentrating for our SSC. Let me concentrate on SSC only.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Now when you come for here, the other very important thing is the surface area of the substances will be increased because of this mastication. So this is the analysis we have to write for this experiment. Okay. Next, after that, we have action of saliva on floor. Everyone know it. This will reflect in first chapter and also here. But as it is present in 7th, we are going to discuss it here in the 7th. The thing is, first we have to take a test tube, then a little water, and then add pinch of flour. Which flour? Maybe rice flour or else wheat flour. Don't go for the pulses flour here. So now then we have to rinse it and make the solution. Then take a watch glass, add 1 or 2 drops of the solution, add iodine reagent, which will give you the dark blue color, which will indicate that whatever the solution we have take, starch is present. Then take another test tube and pour half of it into another test tube. Then in one of the test tube you add saliva, a spoon of saliva, and other you don't add anything. Leave it for 45 minutes or 1 hour like that. Then afterwards again add iodine reagent to the 2 test tubes. What is observation is, whatever the test tube we have added saliva will not give you blue-black color. This is the first observation. Second one is, the test tube we have not added saliva will give you blue-black color. From this what you are going to say, whatever the saliva, now analysis, whatever the saliva we have added, it will have an enzyme which is called salivary amylase or ptyalin, and this will act on the carbohydrates, especially the starch, and convert into maltoses or dextrins, oligosaccharides or else. Okay, so maltoses, they have been converted, due to which maltoses are present, but starch is not there. The starch has been broken down, due to which the iodine will not give you blue-black color. So from this what you can say, salivary amylase, which is present in the saliva, will act on the carbohydrates and convert into maltoses. This is your analysis. Okay. Next, after that we have pH value. Okay, what is the normal pH value of your mouth? Normal, 1 half mark questions or else 1 mark questions or 2 mark questions. Okay, so what is the normal pH? The normal pH of our mouth is alkaline. But if you leave that mouth like that only, what happens slowly, because of action of germs, the mouth will convert into acidic in nature, and this acidic nature will destroy our whatever the enamel which is present on the teeth, and also it will promote a tooth decay. So always we have to avoid acidity in the mouth. That is little bit soreness. Okay, children. So for that what you have to do, we have to rinse our mouth regularly, or else we have to eat something, or else we have to drink water regularly, due to which to maintain alkaline nature in our mouth. So if you have done in your regular classrooms, pH paper, if you take in the early morning, afternoon, and like that, basing on the food item, we have taken also the whatever the pH of our mouth is there, that will be changed accordingly. But normally, the mouth pH is alkaline, and if you leave it with the germ activity, it will convert into acidic nature. Okay, so this is one thing. Next one is very important, Nana, esophagus, peristaltic movement. Okay, so now in this, what you're going to take, we are going to take potato, a cycle tube, and also Vaseline. 3 things we are going to take. And what is the precaution especially we have to do in this is we have to take a potato which will perfectly fit into the cycle tube, not very tight or not very loose, normal. Now, okay. Then what you have to do, we have to apply the Vaseline on the potato and also inside the cycle tube. Then we have to keep the cycle tube, the potato inside the cycle tube and press above the potato and see what happens. What happens? Whatever the cycle tube which is present below the potato will get widened and shortened, and the potato will be moved down slowly. Then again we will leave above, and again we are going to press above the potato. So this will be continued till it reaches down the cycle tube. This same thing, this is normal observation. So every child will write what are the apparatus and what is the procedure about this peristaltic movement. The observation also you will write this, but the thing is analysis is very important. What you have analyzed here, this whatever the observation we have done, that should reflect with the muscles present in the esophagus. So what muscles we have in the esophagus? We have mainly 2 types of muscles we have. One is circular muscles and also the longitudinal muscles. When you come for the circular muscles, it will make usually the muscles which are above the food, they will first contract, due to which the esophagus will become narrow. When it becomes narrow, here whatever the food bolus is there, that will be pushed down. And also whatever the muscles which are present below the food bolus, which muscles now here? Above circular muscles, below longitudinal muscles. These muscles when they contract, what happens? They will widen the esophagus. Not only widening here, the esophagus will become shortened. Okay, Nana? Simple thing, Nana. Okavela manamu mana dress naada udipothe etla pedtam ra? Oka pinnis pedtam kada manam. Pinnis pet em chestam ila pettin tarvata we are going to push the cloth back like this kada. So here also what happens here, whatever the down esophagus is there, because of widening. Simple technique, I will show you how to draw the TS of leaf. It is very easy. I'll show you here. Is it visible? I think so. So just simple have small strikes of very small, not very big, Nana, little bit like this. Then leave some space, about 6 to 7 centimeters. Then down over here. With pencil you are going to draw. So I am using pen over here. Why? Because after drawing we have to little bit erase. So for that purpose I am saying you. Then simple, Nana, join this. Which will give you upper epidermis. In the same way, in the lower epidermis, as I'm drawing with pen, so only 1 or 2 in middle. Why? Because we have to draw the stomata over there. So let me draw. So I have left one over here, and then again I'm going to draw one more here. Your wish. 2 or 3 you can leave. Lower epidermis. Upper epidermis with no stomata. Stomata will be there in the upper epidermis, but less number of stomata will be there. Whereas in the below epidermis, you'll be having many openings for the exchange of gases. Many stomata are there, so that's why I have shown you 2 or 3 here. Then to show in this, we have to draw the guard cells, kidney-shaped guard cells, which will reflect the stomata here. So this is also the one more stomata, and here also one more stomata. Basing on how many air spaces you want to show here, you can draw the number of stomata. So don't think that exact diagram which is present in the textbook we should reflect. Okay, is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay, so see Nana, upper epidermis, simple, small lines. And the below epidermis also. Okay, then join them. Don't space here. Why? Because less number of stomata or no stomata will be there in the upper epidermis. Whereas here we have to leave 1 or 2 spaces, which will make us to write the stomata here. So let me draw it. So I am leaving the space.
అయిపోయిందా?
Then here I am drawing the stomata here, which is kidney in shape. Okay, then here at the center, what you do is you draw the vascular bundle. In this vascular bundle, endodermis you draw first. Then half divided. Then you draw the xylem with polygonal cells, and then have a large darkings which will reflect these cells are dead cells. Xylem cells are dead cells, which will conduct water. Next, this is phloem, which will conduct food material. So simple round cells. So first one is exchange of gases. Second one is here conducting water. The xylem will help us to conduct. Now the leaf have got 2 factors. One is carbon dioxide. Second one is water. Third one is what? So the leaf lamina itself, it has got exposed to sunlight. Now the chlorophyll, which has to get exposed to sunlight, has to receive the sunlight. So here, where they are present, in the parenchyma they are present. And here we have 2 types of parenchyma. Very important 2-mark question also. What differences you are going to find out between the palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma? Whatever the palisade parenchyma which is present just below the upper epidermis, they are very tightly or closely arranged like this, with very less spaces or else no spaces. If stomata are present, 1 or 2 stomata are present on the upper epidermis, you are going to find very few spaces in between the palisade parenchyma. If the stomata are not there in the upper epidermis, then they are tightly arranged. Okay, here. So if you see the leaf also, the upper part of the leaf will be very dark in color, dark green, whereas the lower part of the leaf will be pale green in color. Why? Because the upper part has got a palisade which consists of more number of chloroplasts here. They will be having more number of chloroplasts. Why? Because this part of the leaf will be exposed to sunlight. As it gets exposed to sunlight, this part will receive more energy. Whereas this part, as it is, the stomata are there, which has to allow the carbon dioxide to enter into the leaf. Here, you are going to have the air spaces. So you have the tissue which is very loosely arranged, which is called the spongy parenchyma. Okay, so these are the air spaces which will allow the carbon dioxide to reach inside the tissue. Okay, so this is palisade parenchyma, spongy parenchyma. Palisade parenchyma are present just below the upper epidermis. Spongy parenchyma are present above the lower epidermis. They are tightly arranged with less or no air spaces, and the spongy parenchyma is arranged with more air spaces. More number of chloroplasts are present in the palisade parenchyma. Less number of chloroplasts are present in the spongy parenchyma. Now, 4 factors are made available to this leaf. Yes or no? So what are the 4 factors? First one is carbon dioxide, which is entering. Next one is water. The xylem is. Next is the leaf lamina, which will make the leaf to expose to the sunlight. And the last factor is the chloroplast, which has to be exposed to sunlight such that it will trap more sunlight. So for that purpose, just below the upper epidermis, you'll have the palisade parenchyma, and above you'll have spongy for more gases exchange. Here, in this case, the gases exchange, they have taken signified here only the chloroplast for trapping sunlight is being concentrated over here. So this is how the arrangement of tissues in the leaf made the leaf very great as a food factory. So this is how we have to explain this TS of leaf. Okay, if you draw like this also, you are going to get 4 out of 4 marks children. So when you come for the biology diagrams, the neatness is not considered. For 10th class examination point of view, I am saying you here, neatness is not considered. The thing is whether the child can communicate with this diagram that all the questions what the examiner is asking or not. Here I have explained all that. So this diagram with the labels, I didn't write the labeling over here. You have write the proper labeling. If you write the proper labeling, this whatever the diagram I have drawn on this will get 4 marks out of 4. Understood, children? So any diagram in biology that should reflect the question whatever the examiner is asking. Neatness is not regarded, but try to draw it neat. But the communication is very important. Okay, whatever we draw that should reflect the answer what he wants. Okay, fine. About the TS of leaf. Next, after that, the mechanism of photosynthesis. When you come for mechanism of photosynthesis.
Ma'am, your face is not visible, ma'am. You have to move right side actually. Your face is not visible.
Yeah.
Okay, when you come for photosynthesis, mechanism of photosynthesis, how many steps you have? Mainly you have 2 steps. One is light dependent. Next is light independent. Light dependent and light independent. So when you come for light, that means light is essential here. The sunlight is essential here, whereas in this, the sunlight is not essential here. So in some circumstances, we call this as light reaction, arc reaction. But really, this will not occur in dark. Okay? And misconcept is there in the children that the light independent reaction, which is usually called as dark reaction, they think that this will occur during night time. But don't have a misconcept, Nana. So whatever the light reaction and dark reactions are there, they will be performed just in a gap between a fraction of seconds. That is, after the completion of light dependent reaction, within a fraction of seconds, the light independent reaction will be going carried. So usually don't say it as dark reaction, but if they say in dark reaction also, don't think it. But this will not occur in the darkness. This will occur simultaneously. That is with a small gap of after the light reaction, dark reaction goes on. Next, when you come for the light dependent reaction here, in how many steps goes on? 3 steps. First one is trapping solar energy. Who will trap? The chloroplasts. Where they are present? In the photosystems, which are chloroplasts. 2 are those photosystems which absorb the solar energy and trap the solar energy. But whenever the chlorophyll molecule will get that energy, what it gets excited. Whenever you're going to get energy, how you are going to feel? You're going to feel excited. So in that excited condition, whatever the chlorophyll which has absorbed the sunlight, it will remove 1 electron. It will lose 1 electron and it becomes oxidized. Removal of electron is nothing but it is called as what? Oxidation. So 1 electron will be removed from the chlorophyll. It becomes a CHL plus, which is what we call as a activated chlorophyll or as oxidized chlorophyll we call it. Okay. So now we are in need of electron to come to normal stage. Which one is needed? This chlorophyll is needed 1 electron. It is in deficiency of 1 electron. So for getting that whatever the electron which it has lost, you can think that whatever the electron which is removed that is there now. We can take, but here already that has been accepted or it has been replaced by some other material or some other substances which are present in the leaf. So in that case, now it has to create electrons. For that purpose, whatever the water molecule is there, molecule will be splitted by this light activated chlorophyll. Okay, now who will be splitted? Water molecule will be splitted, which we call it as photolysis of water or photolysis of water. That is, light activated chlorophyll is splitting the water molecule. So during which you are going to get H plus ions, OH minus ions, and also electrons. These electrons are absorbed by the CHL plus. Whatever the OH and some of the H plus and some of the OH minus ions, they react to form a water molecule and the oxygen will be released. Here, in this splitting of a water molecule process, which we usually call as Hill's reaction, in this, the oxygen is liberated. Whatever the oxygen, which is photosynthesis, that is released during splitting of water. Okay, so that is the whatever the oxygen is there, it has got released. Along with this, still H plus ions will be left out. Okay, what will be left out, Dana? H plus ions will be left out. So this is about the light independent reaction. Till here, any problem? Okay, first thing is trapping solar energy, due to which the chlorophyll will get excited. So to it needs an electron. Why? Because it has lost the electron as it is become oxidized. So for that purpose, it will split the water molecule. And during splitting, you are going to get H plus ions, OH minus ions, electrons. Electrons are accepted by oxidized chlorophyll. Some of the H plus and OH minus will react to form H2 and oxygen. Oxygen is liberated out, and still some H plus ions are present. So where this light dependent reaction will goes on? It will all goes on in a grana of chloroplast. Now where the light independent reaction will goes on in the stroma. So now whatever I have explained about this, these all were occurring in the grana. Now where the H plus ions are present in the grana. Now this H plus ions from the grana, they will move from grana to stroma. Where they will move from? Grana to stroma. What are these H plus ions? They are charged particles. You know, movement of charged particles will release some energy. Movement of charged particles will release what as energy. Whatever that energy which is released, that energy is trapped by ADP and inorganic phosphate to form ATP. To form what? ATP. What happens now? Whatever the H plus ions which are present in the grana, they will move from grana to stroma. As the charged particles are moving from one place to other place, energy, and that energy is trapped by ADP and inorganic phosphate to form. And after reaching stroma, this whatever H plus ions are there, they will react with the NADP. That is, NADP will accept H plus to form NADPH. So now at the last, what are formed here? ATP, NADPH, oxygen. So these are the products of light dependent reaction. What are the products? One is ATP, second one is NADPH, and third one is oxygen. So these are the three. This oxygen is liberated out. Again through stomata it will go out. Now for dark reaction, ATP and NADPH are left out. So these two, ATP and NADPH, they are called as assimilatory powers. What they are called as assimilatory powers. Who are called assimilatory powers? ATP and NADPH. Now these assimilatory powers which are formed, they are utilized for the light independent reaction, which we usually call as a dark reaction. And what happens in this dark reaction is whatever the carbon dioxide is there, this carbon dioxide will get fixing of carbon dioxide, which will be converted into glucose. Okay, and they need energy. Where they are going to get the energy? This assimilatory powers will help the carbon dioxide to get fixed. So how this carbon dioxide is fixed means, now whatever the RUBP, ribulose biphosphate, this will accept carbon dioxide, and again because of various reactions, you are going to get C6H12O6, which is glucose, and also again RUBP is regenerated. Again, what is your 6 molecules? So how many? Whatever the RUBP, we have utilized 6 RUBP. Again, RUBP is regenerated. Okay, RUBP is utilized. That is, if you have a small pencil, what you are going to do? You are going to use the cap now for proper writing. In the same way here, as carbon dioxide is very small molecule. So with the help of RUBP, that will be involved in various reactions, and at final the glucose molecule is formed. After that again RUBP is regenerated. This is whatever the glucose molecules are formed. These are all similar glucose molecules. They will bond up with each other to form starch, and this starch is stored in the leaves or else in the different parts of the plants. Okay, and usually whatever the starch is there, again during night times, this starch will convert again into glucose, and in the glucose form through phloem, it will be transported to various parts where that food material again is stored in the form of starch at various parts in the plant. This is nothing but the photosynthesis mechanism. Any doubts on the photosynthesis mechanism? Yes, children? Any doubts in the photosynthesis mechanism?
Children, if you have any doubts, post them in the chat box. Madam will clear the
Yes,
doubts.
I'm watching your chat box. You can say. Hill's reaction is not separate, Nana. The photolysis of light is nothing but Hill's reaction. Splitting of water molecule is nothing but Hill's reaction. It is named after the honor of the Hill, Robert Hill. Robert Hill have discovered it, so it is named after him. Okay, children?
Everyone is telling there are no doubts. Okay, no ma'am, no doubts.
Okay, fine. Shall we move to the next topic now? Fine.
Madam, like it is already 10:30 now. I think if it is more than for 1.5 hours, students will be having network issues, ma'am. We shall continue in the next session. Like I think AS1 of first chapter is finished, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Not only AS1, AS2, AS5 and AS6 also completed.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Like because
okay, AS2. What is AS2 here? If splitting of water molecule does not occur, what happens? What happens? Assimilatory powers are not formed. If assimilatory powers are not formed, dark reaction will not continue. Okay, how do you appreciate the photosynthesis? How do you appreciate the splitting of chlorophyll? This will come under AS6. Same question, same answer, but in the different form. Okay, and drawing of TS and also the chloroplast will come under the AS5. So by this we complete the chapter 1 complete. Yes, Dark is also called. Melvin Calvin have discovered it. That's why it is called as a Calvin cycle also. It's a cycle. Yes or no? RBP is involved and again regeneration of RBP has occurred. So this is a cycle. That's why it is called as a Calvin cycle. Melvin Calvin have discovered it. Hence it is called as Calvin cycle also. Yes, children, still? How sunlight is utilized? Sunlight is made chlorophyll to get oxidized. Understood, children? Whatever the normal chlorophyll is there, that normal chlorophyll was made into oxidized chlorophyll. Oxidized means here, it has lost one electron. Now, it is in need of electron. Why it is in need of electron? Because of sunlight. So, as it needs electron, it had went to water and it has bombarded the water and splitted the water molecule, during which assimilatory powers are formed. Understood, children, here? Yes, that is how the sunlight is utilized during photosynthesis. Still? Okay. Any doubts you have regarding first chapter or second, you can post in the chat group. According to that, we are going to discuss.
Children, 2 minutes of time is given for you. If you have any doubts, please post it in the chat box. Madam will clear you now. Asking for human evaluation.
Human evolution. Okay, 8th chapter.
Okay, evolution.
Okay. Children, simple topic, Nana. Don't make it complicated. Just learn about the flow chart. Just concentrate on flow chart. Have a concept of flow chart over there. That is, please come to page 188 page, and everyone. 188 page. So see the flow chart. Have the flow chart view in your mind. Draw the flow chart first and describe that flow chart. Finish. Human evolution completed. Okay, simple logic thing now. First, have the view of flowchart. Diopithecus, Gramopithecus, Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, Cro-Magnon, and last one is Homo sapien. So these are the different stages of human evolution. That is, Diopithecus means normal monkey. Then chimpanzees, orangutans, everyone, and next Homo habilis means living together on the ground. Next, erectus started to stand on 2 legs. Next, Neanderthalensis, same like our very early man. Then Cro-Magnon. that is the man who lived in the African areas. Then later on, now Homo sapien, we are the modern man. Okay, so later on, remember the years in the between, in the two stages, years are there. 15 million years, 2 million years, 1.6, 10,000 to 40,000, 15 to 10,000, these years. So just say that before 15 million years, Diopithecus were there. From the Diopithecus, Ramapithecus have evolved. It survived for 2 million years. Then after that, Australopithecus have been evolved. Then later on, Homo habilis. That is the man-like structures have been formed before 1.6 to 2.5 million years ago. Later on, Homo erectus, which have started to survive on 2 legs. Like that, you can explain and complete the human evolution. Other thing is, remember that whatever the is present on the earth, we all belong to same race from Africa. Okay, from the Africa, what we have done, we have moved randomly towards the different areas of the world, and because of the different climatic seasons and also in that surroundings, we have developed adaptations, and due to that adaptations, we have got different characters, and then because of that little variations between those races, we have become races. Now, if you see a Chinaman, easily you can identify that he belongs to China or Japan. If you see us, we can say that they belong to Asia, maybe Sri Lanka, India, or Bangladesh, Pakistan. If you see an American boy, we can say that, oh, they belong to America or England, like, because they are very white. They belong to very cool country, cool environment. Next, Africa people, they will be very dark because of very hot temperature. So basing on the surrounding temperatures, we have adopted different adaptations, due to which we have deviated from similar characters, whatever we have got from our ancestors, due to which now we have become different races, human races. Okay, so if you write this, that is also enough. Simple, write your own words.
Madam,
Don't complicate it.
Raghava is asking, light phase occurs in thylakoid membrane or intergrana?
Light phase, what na? Thylakoid membranes are a part of grana. What are grana na? Thylakoid membranes only na. Okay,
And,
thylakoid membranes are grana. Colorful part of chloroplast is called grana. What are the colorful parts? Thylakoid membranes are the colorful parts. Colorless part is stroma. Colorless part is stroma.
One of the student is asking, in respiration, water vapor is exhaled, is the question.
Yes, yes. Where the water vapor has come, inhaling, whatever the moisture which is present in our noses, that will humidify the air. What is humidification? Adding of water vapor to the air. Okay. Why the air has to be humidified means whatever the surface which is present in the alveoli in the lungs, moisture is needed, but not wetness. Understood, Nana? If wetness is there, we are unable to respire. That is the reason if the water will enter into the lung, we will die. But without moisture also, it will be unable for us to have the exchange of gases. For exchange of gases, moisture is needed. Okay, now that is a thin film in a water bubble. Thin film of water. And if the water film is there, then only the gases will dissolve in this water film. And from there, the water, that is the gases in that water film, will diffuse into the cytoplasm. If not, exchange of gases will not happen. That's why moisture is needed, and that moisture is added to the air in our nose, that is in the nasal cavities. So whichever it enters into the alveoli, due to the heat which is released, that whatever we have inhaled, that is a humidified air, that will also come out. Okay, and that you just exhale onto a mirror, you are going to have a blurred image.
Yeah. Madam,
Yes.
children are also asking meiosis, mitosis, cardiac cycle. Children, all these topics again, Madam will be discussing in the next session. So for now, if you have any doubts which are finished in which Madam finished in today's session, you can we'll give you the Madam's number. You can contact her. You can just message her. Madam will clear all your doubts. So yeah,
Nana, cardiac cycle is very easy, Ram. Everyone, children, please hold it here. Cardiac cycle, simple. Every heart has a four chambers. Now let me see here. So these are the 4 chambers of the heart. Is it visible, Nana?
It is
Madam,
not clearly visible, ma'am. Not clearly visible.
Blackboard unna? See, Nana? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
A light object.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the upper atria and these are the lower ventricles. Fine. So now these are the places where we have the walls. So this is which side? This is the right side. This is the left side. Right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. Here, in between the right auricle and left ventricle, here what we have here? We have tricuspid wall. What we have? Tricuspid wall. Whereas in between the left and the left ventricle, here we have a bicuspid wall. So these two words you should understand. Next, at the origin, that is from the right ventricle, what is originated? Pulmonary aorta, which will take the blood to the lungs. So from here. So here also you'll have an walls, what we call as pulmonary. Next here, in the left ventricle, systemic aorta. Here we are going to have systemic walls. So these 4 walls you have to understand now. 4 walls in the heart. Tricuspid wall, bicuspid wall, pulmonary walls, systemic walls. So if you have the concept on these 4 chambers of the heart, 4 walls, pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta. Where the pulmonary aorta will originate and where the systemic aorta will originate. Pulmonary aorta will originate from right ventricle. Systemic aorta will originate from the left ventricle. Okay, children? Now let me start cardiac cycle. I am starting cardiac cycle. First, imaginary phase. All 4 chambers are in relaxed state. Usually, this will not occur in a live person. But we have to think like that. Okay? All 4 chambers are in relaxed state. So now, whatever the veins which are there, caval veins, which will bring the blood, they'll pour into the right auricle and also into the left auricle. Now the blood is right auricle and the blood is coming into left auricle. When the blood is sufficiently filled in the auricles, now these 2 auricles will contract. What will they contract? They'll squeeze. So because of that contraction, the blood from the right auricle and blood from left auricle will come into the ventricles. Will come down. Okay. What happens, Nana? Whenever the 2 auricles have filled with the blood, now they get squeezed and allow the blood to flow into the ventricle. This is called as auricular systole. Contraction. What is contracting? Auricles are contracting. So it is called as auricular contraction or atricular contraction. We can call auricles as atria also. Okay, so this is first step in the cardiac cycle. Contraction of atria. Because of the contraction of atria, the blood from the atria will move to the ventricles. Okay, first step. Second step, ventricular contraction. Now the 2 ventricles have received the blood. Now what the ventricles have to do? Now they have to contract. So because of that contraction, now 2 openings are there in each ventricle. In the right ventricle, you have an opening 2 such that it will enter into the right auricle and here from here to the left auricle. But the blood should not go back. The blood should not go back. The blood should go into the atria. That is what you call as from the right ventricle to the pulmonary aorta and from left ventricle into the systemic aorta. Understood, children? It should go into the arteries, pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta. Okay? But it should not go back into auricles, the upper chambers of the heart. So to avoid that, the tricuspid wall and the bicuspid wall will shut down very fastly, giving the first sound of heartbeat, which is called lub. Lub sound. Okay, lub sound is being given by tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, which will not allow the blood to flow from the ventricle to the arteries. Okay, this is first. Second one is now, as the ventricles are squeezed, that is ventricular systole. Because of that, now the blood is where they are in the aorta. Now again the ventricles will start relaxing. That is ventricular diastole. Diastole means relaxing. Now the blood which is present in the arteries, that is pulmonary artery and systemic artery, or pulmonary aorta or systemic aorta, they will try to come down again. That is, they will try to come back into the ventricles. Now at the origin of the aorta, we have pulmonary walls and systemic walls. Those will suddenly shut down and will not allow the blood to come back into the ventricles. And this shutting down of the pulmonary walls and systemic walls will give you the second sound of the heartbeat, which is called as a dub. Okay, so lub, dub, due to which the blood will be there in the aorta, that will be moved forward in the aorta, that is in the heart. So this is what we call as cardiac cycle, which will take 0.8 seconds. For each cardiac cycle, it will take Just children, doubts still here? In the cardiac cycle, simple. Remember what are the 4 chambers of the heart? What are the 4 walls of the heart? Who will bring the blood and who is going to take the blood? If you have the concept of this, we can write the cardiac cycle.
Madam,
Okay?
is bicuspid valve is also called a mitral valve? Is it true? Is one of the doubts from Raji.
Bicuspid, guys, here, this whatever the bicuspid valve is there, it is also called as mitral valve.
That is the doubt, ma'am. And,
Mitral valve. Not mitral, nana, mitral, MI.
Madam, students are asking, is there any simplest way to memorize the vitamin chart, to remember the vitamins chart? Is there any simplest way? Many of them are asking.
Simplest way for the, okay, fine.
To remember the vitamin
Simple,
chart.
Nana. It is same like mass table. Okay? The thing is, with the logic we can remember, and also by mugging up also we can remember. So logic is, regarding the resources, every vitamin will be available in the normal vegetables milk. Okay, normal vegetables, leafy, that is leafy vegetables, milk, eggs, liver, like that. But the specifications are there, you underline them. For example, when you come for thiamine B1, underline cereals and oil seeds. They are along with that, you write other resources also, finished, completed. Riboflavin, here they are all normal only, nothing specialized. Next, niacin also normal. Next, pyridoxine, here you are going to get, this is also normal. That is same like a B1, here we also have to add cereals, oil seeds. Cyanocobalamin, keep a star mark over there. They are not available in any food items. Okay, they have to be compulsory synthesized by the bacteria which is present in our intestine. E. coli bacteria, they are very, very essential, and they will give you vitamin B12. And one more question will be related with this vitamin B12 is, when we go to that doctor for any fever or any, if they write any antibiotic, they will give you vitamin B12 syrup. Why they will give you vitamin B12 syrup? Because if you take the antibiotics, the useful coli bacteria also will be destroyed. But again, it will take very short time for them again to recover back. But still, during that time, we may not get this vitamin B12. So for that purpose, they'll give you the syrups. So we should not indiscriminately use the antibiotics. Whenever there is needed, then only we should use the antibiotics. If not, we will be in deficiency of vitamin B12, which will lead to pernicious anemia. That is very important. Okay, next, folic acid, normal. Next, pantothenic acid. Here you have to underline about sweet potatoes, kandagada, especially. Next, biotin, normal, pulses. Okay, next, ascorbic acid. Very important, Nana, citrus foods. And also leafy vegetables, green leafy vegetables. If you take the green leafy vegetables, without cooking, if you keep in your mouth, there will be a little bit sour in taste. That means it is having vitamin C in that. Next, after that, retinol. That is, we have animal source and plant source. Animal sources are the best is cod liver oil and shark liver oil. And other than that, in the plant source, they are not directly available in vitamin A form. They are present in the carotene form. And after we eat it, that carotene will be converted into the vitamin A. So whatever the orange to red range fruits are there, we can eat. That carotene is nothing but a pigment, color pigment, which is present along with the chlorophyll. And they'll ask us to eat the more green leafy vegetables. green color, but we are saying that carotene is orange, but the leaves are green color. Then where the carotene is there? So along with the chlorophyll, carotene also there, but as chlorophyll is more quantity, the leaves will be green color, but still carotene will be there. That's why the doctors will ask us to eat leafy vegetables to get the vitamin A in more quantity. Next, calciferol, same. Cod liver oil and that is shark liver oil along with the animal food sources, and also it is called sunshine vitamin. Why? Because whenever we stand in sunshine, whatever the cholesterol which is present in our body, that will be modified into vitamin D. Next, there's tocopherol. You'll have in sprouts and sunflower oil. So these are the two things you have to underline for resources. Next, the last one is K vitamin, normal food. So just very specific food items are there, you underline them. Along with that, if you write the specific and write other normal food, that is about the resource. Like deficiency diseases, simple. Like a table form, you have to remember, Nana. B1 beriberi, B2 glastis, B3 pellagra, B6 anemia, B12 pernicious anemia, folic acid anemia, pantothenic acid, burning feet, biotin, so nervous disorder. Like that only we have to remember. There is no specific things to have a logical part. Okay, just like a table form, second table, third table, you will remember now. In the same way, you have to mug up it. That's all. Only in resources we can use the logic things. Anything else?
Yes, ma'am. Like members are also participants are reducing because of the network issues. Let's stop it here, ma'am. We shall continue in the next session.
Okay, okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for
Okay.
your wonderful explanation.
It's a final stage now, ma'am. But from starting onwards, if it was there, we would have given in clear view. But it's an online class.
Yeah. Because this is the exam moment. This is the right way to go on.
Just an overview it is.
Yes.
So if the children will have any doubts, if they say that, directly we can get the exact point.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll share your
Nana,
number with us.
concentrate on the tables now. Have concept of the table. Don't learn the tables. Any table, have the concept of tables. Why? Because table will be given along with the questions. You have to analyze the table and you have to write. And they won't give one table. They will mix the table and they'll give you. So have a view on all tables in textbook. Okay, that also will give you 6 marks. So be very careful, children, and concentrate on all topics present in all chapters. Every chapter is important for biology. There is no specific important chapter. Okay.